Hello. So we are back for another Super Nintendo Final Fantasy game, and this time it is my personal favorite game of all time. This is Final Fantasy III, as the title screen says. Of course, we all know it's really Final Fantasy VI. Um, but yeah, again, my favorite game ever. I even have a sticker on my car window for it. Just the Terra Magitek Knight image from the Japanese logo, or what's now the kind of universal logo for reissues of it. One of the most remarkable things, I've said a lot about this game already in other videos. I have the lovely and talented Miss Adrian with me, by the way. But yeah, I think something I haven't mentioned yet about this game is not only how resonant it's been with me over the years. It's possibly the only game I've taken legitimate life lessons from, and I'll talk more about that as we go. But it's kind of amazing how it's actually become more resonant as I've gotten older and time has gone on. Some of the kind of universal themes of the game are loss, recovery, redemption, and, a lot of that really does, just by way of living longer and going through various experiences, a lot of that really does hit a lot harder at 41 than it did at age 14 when I first played it. It came out in 94, so I was even younger than that, 12, I guess. That was when I first played it. Wow. Anyway, I'll have a lot more to say as we go on, I'm sure. So as far as this run goes, I'm not going to do like a completionist run. Like, I'm not going to try to get every rage for Gao and every lore for Strago. I'll get like the essential ones. Like, for Strago, I'll make sure to get Big Guard and Light Wind and Grand Train, but not try to complete the list or anything. I probably won't try to get every spell on every character. I'll focus building magic spells on the magic-based characters, and others will kind of get essentials, and I'll mainly use Espers for characters like Cyan for building stats more so than building their magic repertoire, since they're not really magic-based characters anyway. So yeah, that's kind of the ground rule I'll set myself here. This again is my original cartridge from 1994, maybe early 95, whenever I got it. But yeah, my original game cartridge, which I know doesn't look like it on this select screen. In testing various testing the cartridge on different consoles, I think at some point I turned the power switch on and off too fast, and it deleted all the saves. So the battery does still work as far as I know. This sort of beginning save that's only 5 minutes in has been there for a while. So I think the battery's fine. It was just, I screwed up at one point and ended up wiping the cartridge. And I have been saving one game in this slot before this restart that never went anywhere, apparently. So yeah, we'll just save over this one, and there are 2 empty slots. But I promise it is my real original cartridge. Anyway, I think that's about it for introductory stuff. So I think we should just get into it and talk about the rest of whatever comes to mind as we go on. So let me hit new game, and we'll get started. So, again, the last time I played this was the Pixel Remaster, which is great. It's a great version, but it is kind of nice to see the nostalgic original graphics again. Again, the Pixel Remaster was fine, and it was good, and the redone graphics in that, I think, worked fine. It certainly wasn't as ugly as that terrible Steam iOS version that predated the Pixel Remaster. That was just horrible. But, yeah, again, just in my mind, there's no substitute for the original. I think I'll let the credit roll run. For one thing, because the credit screen here is kind of iconic on its own, just visually. And of course, you have the main title theme variant of Terra's theme here, which is iconic. Uematsu's music was always great, but I think he did kind of outdo himself on the score for this game. Some tracks that can get you pumped up, there's some that are just like this, kind of heartbreakingly beautiful. I saw somewhere a comparison somebody made that him creating a soundtrack like this on the Super Nintendo with just that sound system to work with. It was kind of like the equivalent of taking a box of crayons and creating the Sistine Chapel ceiling with it. And I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, Dancing Mad alone is, I would argue, one of the top, one of the best prog rock tracks of the 90s. And, you know, it's just the boss fight theme, the final boss fight theme from this game. And this, of course, is the Super Nintendo cartridge, so it's the original translation by Ted Woolsey, which has some Woolseyisms. I'm a defender of Woolsey overall. I know some among the fan base have differing opinions, but I think he did a good job, and I think, you know, even if it's not quite as technically accurate as later translations of this game, I think it does have, in a lot of places, a lot more life to it. Like, it's much livelier and almost more natural. So anyway, we get to take control fully here. So Terra, who doesn't have a name yet, she has I don't know what I'm doing going to that. She has for her Magitek armor, I guess, a more advanced model which has several attacks that the two soldiers don't have, and that's actually good to remember because there is a part later in the game, there's a couple of parts where you use the Magitek armor. The third and final part is the part where you can actually choose which characters are in your party during that part of the game. And if you use Terra, you actually do get her special attacks from this section, as well as the regular Magitek attacks. So yeah, she gets, in addition to the regular ones, she gets Bioblast, Confuser, Exfer, and Tech Missile. Bioblast and Confuser are basically Edgar's Bioblaster and Noise Blaster tools. Exfer is basically the X-Zone spell with a different animation. Wedge and Vix, of course, one of several Star Wars references in this. Vix is actually a mistranslation on Woolsey's part. It was supposed to be Viggs. Hi, Tabby. trying to remember now. Did Final Fantasy V have pincer attacks, or was that introduced in this game? I played 5 not long ago, but I don't remember specifically offhand for some reason. That might have been a new enemy formation for this game, which would explain why they're kind of showcasing it during the introduction. Hey! Get down. Come here. Yeah, he was picking at the tape on the air conditioner here. Got a few tonics already. Let's see how many. 3. Well, it's better than none, I guess. We know how to use save points. Save over that game. At pretty much the same point. Alright, so this should be the first boss here, the Welk, which basically follows the same gimmick that kind of a whole string of first bosses in Final Fantasy games followed. The Mist Dragon in 4, the bird guy in 5, I don't remember his name, and then the Guard Scorpion in 7. And I'm trying to remember, I forget what the first boss in 8 was. Possibly even the boss in 8, I might be wrong. Not the biggest fan of Final Fantasy VIII, so not 100% sure, but at any rate, definitely at least 4 bosses in a row, first bosses in a row in the series use that gimmick where you can only attack the boss when it's not in a defensive state. When it is in a defensive state, if you attack it, you get a big counterattack. Into its shell, it's kind of a good opportunity to do a healing round, which Terra and Vix both kinda need at this point. They're not in critical health, but alright, yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll just have everybody heal themselves. Although there is a later version of this boss, the Presenter in Barrel's Tomb. This is jumping way ahead, but that boss, if you manage to... It normally drops the Dragon Claws, which is pretty much the second strongest weapon for Sabin. If you manage to kill the head and the shell at the same time, it will actually drop 2 Dragon Claws. Even in the Pixel Remaster that worked. And that can be useful if you're using especially a Genji glove on Sabin, because you can equip 2 Genji gloves at the same time. So, yeah. If you can do that with the second boss, actually kill the shell at the same time as the head, that's useful. So yeah, I guess the point of putting a boss like that at the beginning of the game is just to try to get the player to start thinking strategically about battles. It's not a bad idea. Although again, they did pretty much just use the same gimmick for at least 4 games in a row. Don't worry, they're not dead. They just end up in Norstein Beckler's tent in Chrono Trigger. Along with the third guy, Piet, who's also a Star Wars name. So I keep the default names, of course, but I usually change them so they're not in all caps. Which just makes some of the dialogue look better. And that was done by default, and I think pretty much every other version. I'm not sure about the PlayStation offhand, because I think mostly the PlayStation version was just a conversion of this version, just with terrible load times and a CGI intro. But yeah, that's the version I've basically never played since I got it. I mainly bought Final Fantasy Anthology for 5, which was the first legit release of 5 in the US. Yeah, I don't know if they were still in all caps by default in that one, offhand or not. Definitely the GBA version and the Pixel Remaster had the names rendered normally. Give us the girl and wipe away the debt. So, little tip, whenever you see a grandfather clock, try searching it, because Probably not all, but most of them in the game actually have an elixir hidden in them. So we have pendant as our only key item, and I'm gonna reorder those. Put the sleeping bags in the at the end of the list. So, since Terra's our only character, I'm gonna go ahead and put her in the back row. So she'll take half damage and deal half damage with her physical attacks. But she can use fire already. Fire and Cure she comes with by default. I think she gets Antidote pretty soon after that. She gets a few spells naturally. Like, if you actually level her up to 99, she actually gets Ultima on, you know, on her own without any items or espers or anything. Well, you were talkative today. Yes, rub your face on the microphone. Always helpful. Phoenix down, which had that odd spelling in this game. And I don't know why, because, I don't know why Woolsey did that, because it's still not in the letter limit, because, you know, Sleeping Bag fits spelled out, and that's longer than Phoenix down. It's Phoenix down, I guess. It's the Spanish version. Put those. I'll put all the healing items. You know, I mean, Phoenix down is a healing item technically, but I'll put the HP recovery items above it. Slap these guys with fire. I think we'll get to, you know, where we can recover before she's in danger of running out of MP, so might as well just use fire to end these battles quickly. This, I think, is a sleeping bag here. Ooh, called that. We've played this game so many times, I guess you even remember where specific treasures are. Oh, snap. One thing I noticed in the Pixel Remaster, one little change is that in that version they made everybody wave both hands up in the air. I guess they thought maybe this looked a little too much like, well, a certain salute used by a certain group in the first half of the 20th century. I mean, that was, I'm sure, the implication, but yeah, I guess they thought it was, I don't know, too on the nose or whatever, who knows. But yeah, I noticed that was a change made for the Pixel Remaster. And I don't think that was a change. There were a couple changes, like a couple censorship changes in the GBA version versus Super Nintendo. I don't think that was one of them yet. I think that was a new change to the Pixel Remaster. Or maybe that Steam version before that, I don't know, but I never really played that version because I was so put off by the graphics style of it. I think Woolsey's version of the character descriptions on their introductory screens, I think were actually better written than the later versions also. Again, even if they're not as bang-on accurate to the original Japanese, I think they were more evocative and, better descriptions of the characters. Anyway, here's Locke. He'll be our Indiana Jones for the evening. So this is the first of two multi-party battle sequences. This is kind of like the practice run where this game does that a few times with a few different things, where it introduces a concept and then later on you get the more advanced version, which is again good design. But these multi-party battles, there's two of them, both in the front half of the game. I wish there were more of these, honestly, because I always really enjoyed these parts. Even that would be something, like the GBA version had the bonus dungeon, the extra dungeon that, frankly, I never really cared about, but, if they just added, as bonus content, some extra multi-party battles like this, I think that would be cool. I'd enjoy that. So, yeah. Just throwing that out there, Square Enix, if you are looking for ideas for another reissue of this, just do a bonus pack of a bunch of extra multi-party battles. I'd be happy. Anyway, we don't need more information. Alright, so the strongest party is actually the second group that has Mog and Cuckoo, Kutan, and Kupan. They all have different names in the Japanese version and in the later American translations or English translations. American translation. One of these, I think Cuckoo, I think the one next to Mog, I think is actually Malulu, who's, I guess, kind of implied to be his mate, since the Moogle charm in other versions is specifically called Malulu's charm. But yeah, this is the strongest of the parties, mainly because of Mog himself being the strongest of the Moogle characters. He's the one you actually get to recruit permanently later on. And because he is a later recruitable character, he has a functioning menu in this. So there's a pro tip. Before this battle sequence ends, you actually want to go and unequip the mithril pike and the mithril shield that Mog has, because that'll be good equipment for... the pike can be used by Edgar, who we'll get soon, and the shield can be used by any of our current characters, and they're stronger than other equipment that we'll have for them for a while, so it's a good idea to take those off of Mog so we can then use them. So you can kind of fight these one of two ways. You can kind of, you know, hang back, position the three parties to block off the exits of the little maze and wait for the enemies to come to you, or you can actively hunt down the enemies. Either way works. I usually just kind of position them at the exits and, you know, move around a little bit just to catch the enemies as they get closer. I don't know if Locke will even come up since he was the last to move this time. Yeah, but since it was a preemptive attack, it might have been a good opportunity to steal. Maybe I should have actually switched so he got the first turn. So Mog will also learn his first dance by fighting here. There's 8 dances in all. One is actually missable fairly easily, but we'll make sure to get it. So we mastered, I think it's Dusk Requiem in this version, the underground dance. And each dance it turns him into a berserker. It makes it so he is uncontrollable, but he gets, for each dance, there's like 4 moves. I think 2 are more commonly performed and 2 are more rarely performed. It's just a random thing. The Von Mammoth is mostly dangerous because of this, the Blizzard, which is a move that hits all members of your party at once. Kushu, I think, the first Moogle in this group, I think, is wielding a paintbrush. Like, they all have their own weapon type out of the types available to various characters. Like, that group's fairly normal. Yeah, Kushu has the brush, which is a specific weapon type for a character we get much later in the game. Actually, Kurin has a pike like Mog does, doesn't he? And then the 3 with Locke, let's see what they have. Yeah, one has claws. Okay, so I think that's all of the enemy groups coming towards us. I'm going to move Locke down. So we'll fight the boss character with him. But before that, we'll take this stuff off of Mog, so it'll be in our inventory. To do a range. Just for now, we'll put that mithril shield on Locke. I might switch it to Terra depending on who has higher defense, but at any rate, we'll put it on him for now since Terra's not in the party. And you can, I'm not gonna, you know, force it, I'm not gonna try to make sure I get it, but you can theoretically steal a mithril knife from the Marshal here. Which is a fairly low-ranking weapon, but it's better than what Locke has right now, so if you can get one, it's not a bad thing. Just gonna hit Kubek with a tonic. Now, Kupop needs one. Unfortunately, at low levels, Locke's lost Kupek. Locke's steal ability is, you know, somewhat low success rate. We'll keep trying it. And if we do lose this party, we can switch to the party Magas, and even without his equipment, he's gonna be pretty strong. We can use his dance. Yeah, got him. So no mithril knife, that's okay. Need to get a potion and a tonic for winning. Thanks, Moogles, we're in your debt. They make a point of showing you that because you need to use that entrance, that hidden entrance later on. So the beginner's hall is here, and it's a good idea to go in here because there are a few free items, and we can heal up. First, let's go here. I'm actually just temporarily going to take that off, so let's see their defense. The lock actually does have the lower defense anyway. Well, let's take off her buckler. Alright, so his is a little bit lower, or hers is a little lower, not by a whole lot, without anything equipped. Also, Terra I might leave in the back row for now, so I think I will leave that mithril shield on Locke, since he's going to be up front. Yeah. So this bucket you can heal with. The guy next to it just tells you that it's from water from a healing spring. I think there's a tincture there, which heals MP. Monster in a box, I think you would get a tonic or a potion for beating it. Or just some gold. That's mainly just to teach you that sometimes monsters do show up in treasure chests. Sleeping bags. Sleeping bags are just basically tents that only heal one character instead of the whole party. Usually, you know, fairly shortly into the game, you don't really need those anymore. You can just use tents, but... Unfortunately, unlike Mystic Quest, you can't jump over the NPCs. So, a few free items. Not too many, but better than nothing. So, they're not going to let us back into town here, but we can see what happens. We should probably drop a save. Most of the weak enemies here you can steal tonics from, so let's try to get a few extra tonics. Thanks, Locke. Again, this kind of thing I'm going to try not to do much of, you know, farming items or whatever. But just so we have a few extra here. So once I get that third tonic from the last guy, I'll have Terra just use fire to wipe them out. Oh, damn it. That's the one I already stole from. Alright, there we go. How many do we have? 7 so far. Let's get up to, I'll say 15 tonics in reserve. Some of the desert enemies you can actually steal antidotes from, too. Might be worth getting a few of those. I don't know. We'll see. Terra is actually a very versatile character. You can use her effectively in either the front or the back line. She's the best magic user in the game, but she also is fairly decent. She's, you know, I wouldn't even say fairly decent. She's pretty darn decent as a physical fighter, too. Especially if you give her the right equipment. She can use some heavier armor, even. So yeah, she is a pretty well-rounded character. We'll just do one more battle, which would be, you know, if it's the 3 enemies again, it will be 13 tonics. That's probably enough for now. We can grab a few at a store, too. Just so we don't belabor the point here. Alright, we're back. My picture froze, so I did a quick reboot on the laptop, and should have some. Hopefully it's good to go now. Okay, it won't freeze again. 5,000, that's more gold than I thought we would have. So anyway, we can buy a few extra tonics or antidotes or whatever we need. I just left it on the menu screen. So I'll see if I can get 2 more antidotes here, and then we'll just go to the castle after that. Terra should get the antidote spell soon anyway, so it's not a huge deal to get the items, but see if we can get 4 or 5. I have a few in reserve antidotes on the way too. That's what we'll do. Yeah, just learned the antidote spell. So, just reorganize this so the antidotes are somewhat readily accessible. Leave them below the Phoenix Towns, I guess. Alright, so we'll go into the castle. Meet Edgar. Actually, we don't need to, but check out the jail area here. I guess they didn't let us in to talk to them yet. The other way is to the guy that controls the engine room that moves the castle. Spoiler, the castle is movable. Yeah, they don't really want us to go anywhere but to actually meet Edgar here. Those two rooms to the side have shops in them, but if we have Edgar in the party, we actually get a discount, so we'll wait to go there until we have him. I guess they all say the same thing for now. Jeez, you don't have to give me the finger. I just asked who you were. Get a chance to go to the shops with Edgar at this point. I don't know, it might be worth just grabbing, especially the tools for him, just in case we don't. I should remember this, but... so he comes with the auto crossbow, so we just need the bio and the noise blaster. Of those, the bio blaster is probably the most crucial to have, but the noise blaster has its uses too. Get up to 20. Tonics. 10 antidotes. 10 softs. Couple echo screens. Couple extra Phoenix downs, and that's about all we can get for now. So the main place we need to go now is the king's bedroom, where you can get a sort of a flashback cutscene. Yeah, Edgar's a bit of a perv like that. Edgar, I'm gonna have to ask you to have a seat. No sweet tea for you. So we get introduced to Sabin in absentia here. so that's what the game wanted us to see. So we can go back to the throne room now to continue on. Well, I guess that's one way to get rid of the sand. So we do have control of Edgar now, so we can actually put that mithril pike that we took from Mog on him, and then his mithril blade we can give to either Locke or Terra. Thanks for that. So there's a definite Woolsey-ism there, throwing in a reference to, of all pop culture elements, Beavis and Butthead. did you think she was doing, Locke? Throwing Molotov cocktails? Yeah, we are in the middle of a boss fight, after all. Actually, Magitek armor might be weak to the Bioblaster. I'm not sure, but they might count as human-type opponents. Yeah, I got him. Son of a submariner. Which in later versions is son of a sandworm. It's another one where I like the Woolsey version better. So I like to put the party sort of in order of appearance, although I guess Terra should actually be in front in that case. Let's put her in front. Let's see, as far as that sword we took from Edgar, we're probably going to use Locke for physical more at this point, so we'll give him the Mithril Blade, and yeah, she has the Mithril Knife, which is already better than Locke's Dirk, so we'll keep it like that. And let's actually switch the order of Edgar's tools to have the Bioblaster ahead of the Noise Blaster, too. So there are treasures in this cave, which, depending on when you collect them, can get better and better. For instance, there's a chest that I think if you get it now is like an ether or something. If you get it during Locke's scenario, it's a Thunder Rod, and then if you wait until the World of Rune, it's a Hero Ring, so it gets better and better. Getting it as a Thunder Rod can actually be helpful at that specific point that you get it, but, it might also be worth just saving it to get the Hero Ring. So, needless to say, we're not going to pick up the treasures in this cave now. Probably not the second trip through either. possibly put Edgar in the back line, too. I mean, his weapon is not long range, but if we're mainly using the auto crossbow, we'll leave him in front for now, I guess. Eventually, when you get the Dragoon Boots, and especially when you get the Dragoon Boots and the Dragon Horn, I actually often turn Edgar into a Dragoon. If you put those items on him, the Dragoon Boots replace the fight command with the jump command, like the one Cain in Final Fantasy IV used, or the Dragoon class in Final Fantasy V. And if with the Dragon Horn, that gets 4 hits per turn. I think it's up to 4 hits per turn. So yeah, I actually often put that on Edgar. It can also work on Mog. So this is just a little hint that Sabin might be around somewhere soon. Somewhere in the area, rather, so we can get him soon. And there's a free tonic. And you can also stay in the beds here for a free recovery. There are some hidden items around town here to pick up. If I remember right, in the original version of this version, the darkness status effect doesn't actually work. It doesn't actually do anything, I don't think. There's a couple things like that. I think the I think the evasion status or stat is borked also. So I think all evasion goes through M block in this version, but evasion just doesn't work. Those are all things that were fixed in later versions. Billionaire may not actually have the best interest of his community in mind. Surely only in fiction. So we don't actually get to use Shadow now, but he will become an important character at various other parts of the game. So there is a relic shop in here, and it's probably worth getting star pendants for all 4 characters. So the next area has some enemies that can poison. So let's see if we can sell anything quick here. Yeah, I guess that dirk we don't need. I don't think anything's gonna cast imp on us in the near future, so we could sell that. Elixirs aren't really worth anything. Well, we can get 2 of them. There's a few other items in town, so we can maybe pick up another one if we find something worth selling. Or it might even be worth fighting a few battles to get some cash. Because there are some decent armor items and weapons to pick up too. Yeah, let's do that. We'll, after we finish collecting everything around town, we can go fight a few battles. There is a warp stone here, which I think that sells somewhat decent money. So try selling that off. Yeah, 350, it's not too bad. just has a save point in her basement, which is useful a little later in the game. So yeah, let's fight a few battles and get some extra cash. Oh, that's actually useful. Actually switched her out of the back row for the time being, just so she does a little more damage with her physical fighting. When we need to heal, we can use Sabin's cabin for free. See if we can get another one of those mithril claws. That'll sell for some decent money. There's one. Alright, so we'll heal after this battle and then go back to town. Get some more stuff. we do want to keep one of those mithril claws because I believe that's a step up from Sabin's initial equipment when we get him. So we'll get one more star pendant first. 400. I thought that would be worth more, but still okay. Alright, so everybody's protected from poison, which will be probably rather helpful. Actually, it might not even be bad to grab one more of those, so we have one for Sabin. And if we have any money left, we can go back to the relic shop and see if there's anything else we want. But first, we'll do the weapon and armor stores. So, we'll get a Regal Cutlass for Terra. Locke already has Sagra's old mithril blades. I think that's about all we need there. That mithril knife might be worth keeping just as a throwing weapon for Shadow when we eventually get to use him. His special ability is throw. So here, we'll get 2 heavy shields, a hairband for, we'll get 3 plumed hats. So, of that stuff, we will sell... We'll sell one buckler, again, we'll keep the other one because Sabin can actually use that. The leather hats, I don't think we need any of those. Or the leather armors. And we'll buy an extra Kung Fu suit for Sabin. Let's just see. I'd like to get an extra plumed hat, but is there anything I really want to sell here? You know, the tinctures, I might as well sell that off, I guess. So yeah, we'll get an extra plumed hat in reserve. That should be good. 600 gold, let's go back to the relic shop and just see if there's anything we can afford that we might want to grab. I don't think we have enough for the sprint shoes, which are somewhat helpful, since there's no run button in this version. Oh, that's 1500. Yeah, we don't have enough for that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think we're good to go. Yeah, that looks good. These guys you can steal bandanas from. They have very high evade, so it's tough to get them now. It can be worthwhile. Sometimes I do try to, you know, keep stealing from them, but then you can actually use the Noise Blaster to confuse them so you take minimal damage in the process. But on this playthrough, I don't think I'm going to bother. If I do get one, great, but I'm not going to press the issue. And you can buy the bandanas later on anyway. Ooh. Thank you for that. So that's a good knife for Locke. It actually increases his speed, as well as pretty substantial increase to his battle power. Oops. Yep, these are nice. This is the life. This is the last screen for the Mount Colts area. Or at least just the screen where we get Sabin. So these guys are a good reason for the star pendants, because these guys can poison you. I think just with their regular attack. No, that's the poison one, the Bane Touch. What's the matter? You have two friggin' bears in front of you. Come on, fight like a man. So that was actually kind of screwed up in the translation. Originally, the bodybuilder line was actually Terra saying that she thought he was another one of Vargas's bears. So that's why he makes the bear reference here. Alright, so let's equip Saban. Oh, he actually comes with a Kung Fu suit, so I guess we just have an extra now. I think there's probably somebody we can use it on eventually, so just hang on to it. So if you haven't played this before, Saban's blitz moves are essentially Street Fighter move combos. like his Aura Bolt, which I tried to use there, and I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have it yet. Let's try that again. His Aura Bolt is actually the same motion as a Hadouken. There it is. So I think he starts with Pummel, Aura Bolt, and Suplex. Sabin's probably one of the more popular characters in the game, too. Certainly, as far as pop culture crossover goes, the wrestler Chris Sabin actually took his ring name, the Sabin, from him. So yeah, let's see which blitzes he has. So yeah, he has Suplex as well. I think the next one he gets is Fire Dance, which is a useful fire-based multi-enemy attack. So I'm thinking based on where we are now, it's probably worth just continuing until we get to the end of the river scene, which is where the game splits into 3 branches. So we could do up to that, and then we could do, you know, maybe 2 of the 3 branches in the next part, and the 3rd in another part, something like that, anyway. Alright, so before we go in, there's a couple of things to find around the hideout. So let us go into that room yet. And I don't think there's a chest in this area. There's a pot with nothing in it. Might as well stay at the inn though, it's free, so just get everything restored. Before I forget, for the next part, it's probably worth putting Terra back in the back row. That one was screwed up too. It was supposed to be killed, not jailed, because he was talking about Rachel. And there is a hidden room here. And that probably is worth putting on Terra, because I think it boosts... I guess it doesn't. I was thinking that gave a little magic boost, but it does still boost other stats pretty well, so yeah, we'll give that to her. So if you say no to Bannon 3 times, he gives you a Genji Glove. If you say yes, he gives you a Gauntlet, which is still a good item, but the Genji Glove is definitely better. Gauntlet lets you hold a weapon with 2 hands to increase damage, and the Genji Glove lets you dual wield 2 weapons. Before I say no the 3rd time, I read something on a message board before that you can get an item if you talk to the guy up here before you say no the 3rd time. I don't think that's true, but... it is true! I never knew that! Wow. So you do get a Genji Glove there if you talk to that guy. Can you get 2 Genji Gloves if you say no to Bannon? The 3rd time. Let's try it. Story-wise, it doesn't matter if you say yes or no, because ultimately the decision gets made for you anyway. I never knew that, though, that you could get a Genji Glove from the guy up there. In that room if you said no to Bannon. That's wild. Oh, but he doesn't give you the Genji glove. See, you still only get one. Well, that's fine. You get it either way. Alright, so you definitely want Bannon in the back row. Because if he dies, even if the other characters are still standing, you still get game over. So yeah, you definitely want him protected as much as possible. And I'm thinking it's probably even worth putting Edgar in the back row for this part. So yeah, once we get to the part where the story branches, we'll save and pick up there next time. Yeah, it would have been cool if you could get the Genji glove from the guy in the room up there, and then Bannon still gives you either the Genji glove or at least gives you the gauntlet. Which, now I'm thinking, if you say yes the third time, maybe he does give you the gauntlet. That will be worth trying, you know, next time around. Yeah, maybe you can get both. If anyone knows, put it in the comments. I think it's left for all of these choices if you just want to go through. You can keep looping around to build levels, but you don't really want to build levels until any more than necessary until you have the access to Aspers to increase stats. Yeah, if anybody knows if you can get both the Genji glove and the gauntlet, if you say like no twice and then say yes, or you know, just say no once and then say yes. But talk to that guy to get the Genji glove in between. I'm curious now. Because I read that on a message board that you could talk to that guy, and I didn't think it was true because I'd never seen it, but it is true. But yeah, I want to know if you can get both now. With Bannon, it's worthwhile just because he has pretty much no attack power, so it's worth just casting his health ability, which is basically a free cure too every turn. I know Edgar is darkness, but I don't think his auto crossbow is affected by that, and I'm pretty sure in this version of the game the darkness effect doesn't actually do anything bad anyway. I kind of wish now that I had kept that extra Mithril Claw, though. Because I could have put, you know, the Genji glove and then put two of them on Saban. I might put one of them on him anyway. Oh, I do have the extra star pendant, too. Yeah, so we have his starting weapon on his left hand now. It's better than nothing. So go ahead and use an eye drop, even though, again, I don't think that actually does anything. I'll wait to use a tent until we get to the second save point on the river. And after the river, I think we'll save and quit for this part. But that's, you know, that's pretty good headway for the first part of the game. I guess it didn't matter. We didn't hit any enemies anyway in between. fight with Ultros right here. Iconic. Recurring enemy. Seafood soup. Why did I attack with Bannon? Since he's in the back row, Edgar's auto crossbow, even though it's only against a single enemy, still does more damage. Goes. Alright. Yeah, this Terra, Bannon, Edgar scenario here is very short. So it's probably actually worth just getting that out of the way, and then we could start the next part with Locke and Sabin's scenarios. Like, that could probably be a part unto itself. Sabin's is very long. Locke's is kind of in the middle, and Locke's is actually pretty fun as far as, you know, some of the mechanics it uses. So we'll probably... I usually do this one first, Locke second, and Sabin's third. Some like to do Sabin's first because it's the most... it's the longest and most involved. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to the player's preference. But yeah, again, this one is, you know, maybe 15 minutes at most, so we might as well just get that out of the way now. And then save and quit. Let's fix our order here. Put Edgar back in the front. I'll put Terra back in the front, too. Most of the enemies we're going to be fighting here aren't too dangerous anyway, so... Let's get a free heal there. So this is why I wanted to make a point of showing you the hidden entrance lock used when we first left North. So we'll actually fight this once, just, you know, show what happens. Oh, I guess I guess I actually escaped it the first time. But yeah, just to see what happens. And the dark side enemy then can show up on the Velt, which may not matter. But so yeah, it does boot you back to the beginning. So this is the room where that multi-party battle was fought with the Moogles. The Moogles' lair is actually through here, and that does have an item that may be worth picking up in it. So there they are. And if you count them up, it is the same number that appeared in the battle. There's Mog himself, the one standing still. But yeah, if you go through here, there's the Rune Edge to pick up, which is a sword that can use MP to do critical hits. I admit I usually don't use it, but theoretically it can be a good weapon for somebody like Terra or Celeste. If you're using them like strictly as a physical fighter, it's worthwhile because they have MP reserves, but if you're not using them as physical fighters, it's probably not worth, you know, draining their MP continually by using it. There's at least one or two later swords, more powerful swords that have the same concept too. Are so weak in here that even an in the back row Bannon can take them out in one hit. And this is the end of Terra's scenario. Alright, so we'll put a save here, and pick up with Locke's scenario, and then Sabin's next time. So that's the first 2 hours of Final Fantasy VI. I'm definitely loving it so far. As always, I even learned something new. Although I'm, again, with that item in the Returner Hideout, I'm still curious now if you take the Genji glove from the guy in the upper room and then say yes to Bannon after you'd already said no once, if then you get the gauntlet in addition to the Genji glove, that I'm curious about. So if you know, put it in the comments, and if you don't, I'll just find it out next time I play, I guess. I'll have to remember to try that. But yeah, anyway, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time with more Final Fantasy VI. See ya.